Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you. I'm glad you've joined me today for Pastor Bob's coffee break. It's early in the morning. I'm in my new home. There's nothing in it except for a bed and a couple chairs, and most things are still in the truck. But I'm going to do this anyway. So we found a little corner. Lighting is bad. Everything is yet to be brought in, and my new set isn't built yet, but I just want to spend some time with you. So here's the question for today. Dear Pastor Bob, I'm trying really hard to wrap my head around this woke generation. How did people get so far from society's moral standards and integrity? And how did we get a generation of people who become militant if you disagree with them and their entitlement? And what can we do as Christians to counterculture? Great question, and one that concerns us all, because things are getting bad. And these days, civil discussion is kind of going out the window. People aren't civil anymore. So we use the word woke a lot. And people who don't want to discuss things, they talk about prejudice, and yet many times they're the most prejudiced. They want you to have their viewpoint, and as long as you do, they're loving to you, and if you don't, they hate you. And so all of a sudden, everything has to do with viewpoints. It has to do with a view of the world and society and all of that. And if there's any disagreement, they get a bit militant. So what do? Well, I believe that the core problem with woke people, quote unquote, is that they're people without a core purpose in life. You know, it's the core purpose in life that carries us. You can disagree with me, and that's okay with me because I know where I'm at. I have a core purpose that guides me. As a Christian, as a moral person, as a person who loves other people and wants to be inclusive of everyone and in my sphere of friends, and I do. But when you narrow it down and you become woke, there's no better word for it, you realize that the thing you're missing the most is a core purpose in life. I want you to turn with me to Proverbs chapter 3. And he says, "My son, forget not my law or teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life worth living, and tranquility inward and outward, continuing through old age till death, these shall be added to you." Now that's a big deal. Length of days, years worth of real living, tranquility, inward and outward, continuing. So it's not just talking about how old do we get, it's talking about the quality of life, purpose in life. And he says in verse 3, let not mercy and kindness, shutting out all hatred and selfishness, and truth, shutting out all deliberate hypocrisy or falsehood, forsake you. Bind them on your neck, write them upon the tablets of your heart. What? Mercy, kindness, truth. And then he says in verse 4, so shall you find favor, good understanding, and high esteem in the sight or judgment of God and man. That's what gives you the favor. So then he says, lean on, trust in, and be confident in the Lord with all your heart and your mind. And do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways, know and recognize and acknowledge him. And he will direct and make straight your paths and excuse me, let me read that again. And he will direct and make straight and plain your paths. You'll know where you're going. You can see what your integrity ought to be. And you begin to filter through your own character. And then finally, verse 7, be not wise in your own eyes. Reverently fear and worship the Lord and turn entirely from evil. So you see, that's what God has asked us to do, and that's what he's asked us to share with other people. A woke society goes against that. They're people without that core purpose. And verse 3 is critical. Let not mercy and kindness, that shutting out all hatred and selfishness, and truth, shutting out all deliberate hypocrisy and falsehood, don't let it forsake you. Don't let the mercy and kindness and truth bind them around your neck. Write them upon the tablets of your heart. These should be your guiding light. Not hatred, not selfishness, not hypocrisy, not falsehood, as we see going on around us all over the place, but mercy and kindness and truth and love. Well, there's the best remedy for a woke generation. And folks, it's our job to present a pathway for those that don't have one. People without a core purpose in life. That's our job. So go and spread the good news. And go to Proverbs chapter 3 and read through it a little bit, because I think there's a world of answers and correction for us right here. Well, folks, don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.